You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Y&R fans. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I want to talk about the dynamic between Victor Newman and Victoria Newman and how it's shifting now that Claire Howard is in her life. This, I think, is a watershed moment for the Newmans, or it could be if head writer Josh Griffith handles it right. This week, according to official spoilers, Victor has advice for Victoria, and it could be a game changer. Let's dig in, and if you haven't subscribed yet, we would love it if you would. So the Y&R spoilers for Wednesday, January 17th say Victor has some heartfelt advice for Victoria. I'm guessing this is about her daughter, Claire Howard, aka Eve Nicole Howard, aka Claire Grace, who remains right now in a psychiatric hospital and is struggling to let her parents into her life. And thinking back, for years now, ever since Adam Newman was sourced to age 27 in, I think, like 2008 or so, and Victor met his son, and he and Hope Wilson told him the truth about his paternity, it has been nonstop trouble. Adam came to town and flaunted his Ivy League education over Nepo babies, Victoria and Nick, who did not like it one bit, and they didn't like him one bit. There was a lot of back and forth back then with Victoria firing Adam and then Adam taking over during one of Victor's fake deaths and firing her. I mean, certainly his kids born with silver spoons in their mouths didn't get along with the farm boy turned mogul. And since Adam came back as an adult in the late aughts, it's been honestly one thing after another. He's been trouble. Let's not kid ourselves. But now, 15 years later, Victor Newman has learned a lot more about parenting a troubled child that you didn't raise to adulthood yourself. In terms of Adam, he had a great mom in Hope Wilson, and he had a good stepdad in Cliff. But Adam's young life was not without trauma. Remember, he killed a man to save his blind mother and then repressed the memory. Plus, he grew up with a blind mother. He was facing possible blindness himself. There's a lot there. He's got some issues. And poor Claire, she's got enough issues to start her own magazine. And now Victoria Newman's trying to figure out how to bond with a daughter who feels unworthy of love and forgiveness and is trying to cut her, Cole, and everybody else out of her life. So I do think Victor can help Victoria if she will open her ears and listen to him and let him help. And I think Victoria might finally get some perspective on why Adam is the way that he is. I mean, essentially, Claire is Victoria's little Adam, all of her own. So I feel like Claire coming into their lives could actually heal the family, despite the fact that something traumatic and murdery started all this at the lake house in Oregon. Nick, of course, I don't think is going to get any of this, although he is being a little nicer to Adam and a little nicer about Claire than I expected. I mean, Nick the Stick usually is pretty high-handed, but he's also generally kind to Victoria. So, I get that. Adam and Victoria rarely see eye to eye, but he's been nothing but understanding since finding out about the ordeal all the Newmans suffered in Oregon. And I do think Adam genuinely means it. So I suspect when Victor gives Victoria this parenting advice, he might tell his daughter, look, I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt to prove it, And Victor, I'm certain, doesn't want Victoria to go through the kind of ordeal that he has over these years when it comes to Adam. Those two, Adam and Victor, sent each other to prison on false charges. They have gaslit each other, lied to each other, done each other dirty. Adam tampered with his dad's meds and almost killed him, gaslit one of his wives, and he's generally been a pain in the tuchus. And Victor's done bad things to him too, But Adam seems to have outgrown all of this finally, but it would certainly be nice if Victor gives Victoria some tips so Claire doesn't go further off the rails and sabotage the family like Adam has done so much in the past. Adam these days, to me, feels like a much kinder and gentler version of the character than he's been before. The Michael Muhney version of Adam was flat out diabolical, and it was really soapy fun. But the Mark Grossman iteration seems, I mean, I know he's a few years younger, but also a little more immature, a little more bratty, and that he's kind of acting out like a toddler when he's hurt. And he's not nearly as murdery as Muni's Adam was either. So I do hope that Victor's patient with Victoria and with Claire, and I think he will be. You know, already he loaned Victoria the private jet and the security team to escort Claire to the prison because he agreed that Claire needs closure with Jordan. And he actually did that over and above Nikki's objections. So one thing I noticed leading up to the reveal that Claire was alive was how Victoria was constantly badgering Victor to cut Adam out of his life. She even flat out said, "Dad, you need to cut him out of your life." And Victor finally put his foot down and said, "Stop it. Adam is my son. He will never be out of my life." And Victoria was still insisting on it. Like she just was blind to that deep biological tie between them, that parent and child tie. You know, for years, Nikki, Nick, and Victoria demanded several times that Victor cut him out of his life and reject Adam. And even when Victor was furious at his son, when Adam came back hanging his head, semi-apologetic, he'd let him back in the door. So now, after all this time, because things are happening to her, maybe Victoria can see what that feels like. And maybe she'll understand that asking her dad to cut Adam out of his family was cruel, unkind, and just not how you treat family. I mean, heck, if this works out right, we could see all kinds of good things come out for the Newmans if they survive February sweeps. I did a video yesterday. You can check on the main page or on the Y&R playlist with some spoilers for Nikki and Jordan. And no, Horrible Jordan is not done yet. Melody Thomas Scott said that in a few weeks, in February sweeps, Jordan is back for more terror. So I really hope that Adam gets to be part of that storyline, not as a victim, but maybe as someone who helps protect the Newmans, protect Claire, help shut Jordan down once and for all. Of course, that remains to be seen, but I'm really enjoying this storyline. And if this evolves into a real brother-sister relationship between Adam and Victoria, I promise I will take back 37% of the negative things I've said about Josh Griffith's usual lackluster writing, but no more than 37%. So this plot has potential. I'm here for it. I hope they do it right. We'll see. What do you guys think? Do you want to see Victoria change her tune where Adam is concerned? Can Victor help his daughter see that Claire and Adam are two sides to the same twisted coin, and despite that, are both Newmans and should be part of the family? Let me know what you guys think. Drop your comments. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and come back soon because we're here talking Y&R 7 days a week. And as always, it's Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.